Batang kongresista sa loob ng 300 plus na congressman sa House, walang bumangga sa pader, kundi itong bata na ito, with just only 27 years old, na tumayo para po sa atin. Siya nang naging inspirasyon, hindi lang ng kabataan, kundi inspirasyon natin na lahat. Mga seniors, sa tingin ko, dami ng seniors dito. Taas kamay, seniors. Oh, dami. Diba? Manood na lang ba tayo? Hindi. Huwag natin pabayaan ang bansa natin. At i-explain din mamaya si Nikong kung ano yung mga susunod pa ng mga activity. At alam na ninyo yan, nasa Facebook na yan, in-announce na namin, magkakaroon ng malabihang rally sa 16, 17, and 18, inshallah, God willing. Okay? Ngayon, bakit tayo nandito? Kasi napag-usapan mo namin, sabi ni Nikong, ikot tayo sa Mindanao, kahit pa paano tanongin natin yung malawak na sektor. Pupunti man tayo dito, pero distributed tayo among the sectors. Ano ba ang pulso? Kasi, ang nangyayari po sa bansa natin, una, reason. Grabe, rampant yung korupsyon. Nauna pang kinasuhan ang nag-iingay against corruption kaysa nagnakaw. Nauna pang nakasuhan yung nag-rally kaysa nagnakaw ng milyones. Ganon, di ba? Ano pang hintayin mo na investigasyon? May ghost project na nga. Nawala na nga yung mga budget. Ano pang hinihintay? Wala pang kakasuhan hanggang ngayon. How many months? 3 months na. Magpo 4 months na. Walang nangyari. So, pabayaan na naman natin yan. Pangalawa, itong posturing ng present administration natin, warmongering with China. Just imagine. Hindi ba pwedeng maging yung foreign policy natin independent? Hindi tayo lilinya sa isang bansa lamang. Si Tatay Digong noon, free lahat. William China, kaibigan. Russia, kaibigan. US, kaibigan. Kahit sino dyan, kaibigan. Bakit ngayon, nag-warmongering tayo? Parang hinahamon na natin ang China ngayon. So, yung tingin namin, hindi yung dapat yun. So, tingin nyo ba, pag nagkagera, may blockade lang dyan sa passage ng mga supplies natin. Wala nang tayong bigas na kakainin dito. Sabi natin, may missile system na tayo. Oo, ilan lang yung piraso? 8? Alam niyo ba, ilan yung missile ng China? 2,800. Banggaan lang ng missile, talo na tayo. Jet fighter, ilan lang na nabili noon? 24 pieces. Banggaan lang ng jet fighter, talo na tayo. So, hindi yung dapat. Huwag natin pabayaan. Pangatlo, ito mabigat. Ang pangatlo na rasyonali, bakit magkakaroon tayo ng pag-uusap is, papayag ba tayo ng taga Mindanao? Gagawa naman ng administrasyon ng sovereign guarantee. Ipambayad ng utang. Yung mga resources natin dito sa Mindanao, napakayaman natin. Tayong food basket ng bansa. 41% of the tax is coming from Mindanao na nakawin nila. Tapos, ang magbabayad, tayo pa rin. Papayag ba tayo? So, yun ang mga rationality dyan. So, nandito si Kong. Harap natin siya ngayon. Mamaya, after his speech, pwede tayo mag-open forum kahit short, direct to the point lang tayo kung magtanong. Meron tayong gustong ano sa kanya, tanongin sa kanya. So, yun naman po. Maraming salamat sa muli, sa pagtanong ninyo. Pasensya na, napaos na ako. Kasi dapat sana kami sa national, sa UPI, 3 kami ang assign dito na magmamando nitong konsultasyon. Ang nangyari, ako lang mag-isa ang natira. Kasi yung isa, si Dato Alan, siya nang humawak ng command center natin. May command center na po tayo para doon sa rally. Na monitor yung Davao, monitor yung Cebu, at saka monitor yung sa EDSA at saka sa Luneta. So, nandun siya, hindi makaalis. Yung isa naman, nasa Cotabato. So, gano'n, hindi makarating dito. Sabi ko, sige, go. Kaya kakayanin ko, kahit mag-isa. Pasalamat ako, nandyan naman kayo kasama ko lahat. Okay? So, maraming salamat po. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat.
Thank you so much, Professor Lorin Sayani Pabio. At least, Congressman Barsaga, nabigyan namin kayo ng, at least ang Pagadian City is the regional center of Region 9. So, dito talaga tayo sa Region 9, sa Pagadian City as the regional center. So, without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, again, I would like to give you our beloved, the most, Morgan initinglong karon sa Congress against this present administration. Please welcome the Honorable Kiko Austria Barsaga.
Thank you. Okay, short speech lang kasi excited na ako sa open forum natin eh. I really want to hear all of your opinions and thoughts. Pero ang pinakauna kong sasabihin is na kitang-kita naman natin na walang kinabukasan ng ating bansa under the Marcos administration. And nakita naman natin yung economic aspects, yung diplomatic aspects, and the problem with the rampant corruption in Malacanang. Salamat sa lahat ng pumunta dito, and I'd like to thank everyone who supported and showed support for a brighter future for our country. And right now, I'd like to start our open forum so that I may hear all of your concerns and all of your thoughts on what we should change within our national government.
Hello. So at this point in time, our beloved congressman gave us the chance for an open forum. Any question that you would like to ask to our congressman, bukas na po siya ngayon for your questions. May mga tanong ba tayo? Yes, sir. Okay, kasi na ako nilain. Ay gusto mo tanan. Any question? Iuna niya sa question and answer kay consultation mabuti. Sige, sir.
Sabi kasi nila na simulan lang daw yung mahirap kaya. Simulan na natin. Magandang hapon po sa iyo, Congress Miao, Vico Barsaga. I am John Telimor from Brigada News FM Pagalian. Ang tanong ko lang po ay isa lang po. Despite sa yung edad na napakabata, mas bata pa nga sa akin, pero yung courage mo para bumangga sa pader ng Malacanang ay nandiyan. Ano po ba yung, hindi ka po ba natatakot na marispakan or ano yung risk na kakaharapin mo bilang human or
It's positive threats galing kay Marcos. Hindi naman, kasi kung matatakot ako, isipin lang natin kung natakot yung mga ating bayani nung sa Philippine Independence or yung laban natin nung World War II, eh di nung klaseng bansa na tayo ngayon. The opportunity presents itself when you are called upon to heroism, to do something that is more important than keeping yourself alive than your own survival. Kaya ang pinaka-importante sa akin, kung ano yung mas magpapaganda sa ating bansa kaysa kung ano yung makakatulong sa akin.
last question. Ngayong 16, 17, 18, INC rally, ano po ba yung paghahanda na ginagawa niyo po?
Para sa November 16?
Yes po, 16, 17, 18, INC rally. Tapos sa inyong side po, ano po yung paghahanda na ginagawa niyo? Para mapabilang or hayaan niyo lang ang INC? Kaisa kayo or ang INC lang ba alone or kaisa po ba kayo doon?
Sa November 16, multi-sectoral yun. So, hindi lang INC, kasama din yung KOJC at JIL. At marami din kami mga kasamang may mga posibleng sumama mga congressman doon, mga local leaders, religious leaders, and other members from the private sector. My role is the proliferation of the rally in social media and any possible negotiations involving Congress.
Any question? Mabay pangutana? Chito.
Magandang hapon po. John Mayado. Kalay kong binabasa yung mga statement mo sa TikTok. Ang tanong ko po, ano masasabi mo sa coming rally sa INC? As this a connection with the November 30 plan. Yung sa INC plan, 3-day rally, may connection ba ito sa plano sa national sa November 30? That's something will happen big time.
Yung sa November 30 pa siya sa November 16 to 18 INC rally. Hindi kami kasama sa November
So you're only concentrating to November 16 to 18.
Hopefully, pag nakita na nila yung show of force sa November 16 to 18, once they see that millions of people are rallying against corruption, hindi magbabago na talaga yung sistema by 16 to 18. Kung sakaling may mga makulong na mga nagnakaw ng public funds natin by 16 to 18, posible wala nang magiging rally sa 30.
Okay. So another question? Yes, sir.
Magandang hapon po. Okay, dalawa lang po yung naisip kong itanong ngayong hapon. Una, bakit nahinto yung hearing sa Blue Ribbon regarding corruption? Pangalawa, ano pong status talaga ni Mayor Magalong? Kasi binanggit, makita natin sa social media na umalis siya sa ICC. Tapos, kasi hindi niya kaya na wala siyang authority to investigate in corruption. So, ang naisip namin, bakit siya yung nanguna sa pagpunta ng Davao to investigate sa flood control? So, ano ba talaga yung status niya? Uulitin ko, bakit nahinto yung investigation sa Senate regarding sa Blue Ribbon regarding corruption sa flood control? Salamat po.
Yung sa Blue Ribbon Committee, nagiging successful na siya, na pangalanan na yung mga congressman nung head pa si Senator Marcoleta. Pero nung nagkapalitan na at naging Senate President na si Tito Soto at si Ping Lacson na yung naging head ng Blue Ribbon Committee, parang wala nang nangyari doon kasi takot silang ma-implicate si Romualdez. Kasi kung sakaling sasama si Martin Romualdez sa flood control issue, si Bongbong Marcos makakasuhan na din siya. So ngayon, habang President pa si Senator Tito Soto, walang mangyayari doon sa Blue Ribbon Committee. Mayor Magalong, hindi ko alam. We don't have contact with Mayor Magalong. He is under a different group, kaya hindi ko masasabi kung ba't siya pumunta ng Davao. I don't believe he has any investigative authority kung ba't siya nandun. So, baka nag-switch na to pro-admin siya.
Okay, another question? Yes, sir.
Magandang gabi sa lahat. Sir, salamat nakapunta ka dito. Somebody, a military captain, filed you inciting to sedition. What happened?
Yung sa recent case ko nung September 21 protest na pinag-aaral na yun ng legal team kung ano yung maging response ko, but the inciting to sedition case was filed by CIDG this week. Yun lang, nag-file lang sila ng kaso pero wala pang official na hearing date. Summons pa lang siya and request for my and call for my appearance doon sa QC.
Yes. Any question? Any more question? Yes, sir.
Sir, from the urban sector at saka persons with disability sector, bakit masyado kang matapang na banggain si Bongbong Marcos na nakapagbibigay sa amin ng desisyon na sumuporta sa iyo? Sino-sino ba ang nasa likod ng kausa mo?
There's only one thing I support and that's the better future for our country. Yung kinabukasan ng ating bansa, yun ang talagang nabibigay sa akin ng tapang para labanan ang source ng corruption sa ating bansa.
Yes.
Magandang hapon po. Ako si Sona Mabulay from Pagadian Assembly Against Anti-Corruption po na grupo. Yung tanong ko, ano ang expect namin sa iyong pagpunta dito? Then after this, ano ang aasahan namin? Yan lang po.
Ang tour ko dito ay para makita ko kung ano yung sitwasyon ng mga tao dito at kung ano yung mga kagustuhan nila. And what you can expect is that next week, yun yung magiging serious anti-corruption rally namin. Estimated millions of people ang pupunta, and we will hold the government accountable for their crimes. At posibleng mag-resign si President Marcos kung sakaling siya yung maduro ng source ng corruption. And that's, ultimately, I'm being perfectly honest, yun talaga yung kagustuhan ko. And I know plenty of people that ultimately want the same thing. We want Marcos to resign because he is no longer doing what's best for his country. He's only doing what's best for his family, for his political allies. Natutulog lang siya at nagpaparty lang siya habang binabaha at nagugutom ang kanyang mga nasasakupan at wala nang kinabukasan ng ating bansa habang siya ang ating Pangulo. So that is my personal call. I want Marcos to resign.
Any more question? May tanong pa ba dyan? Jay? May tanong ka, Jay?
Akala ko may after sa consultation. Congressman, Jay Apares po ng J Channel, my TV and your TV. With your consistency hitting Marcos administration now, as far as your assessment, the governance of our present president, from 1 to 10, could you give me now? Saan siya po? From 1 to 10. Yung po assessment of his leadership today.
From 1 to 10 yung grade para kay Marcos.
Yes?
Well, there are multiple things to grade on a sitting president. Bilang total grade yun. In terms of economy, you can see that the economy is horrible. Our stock exchange is rapidly decreasing. The peso to dollar exchange rate is decreasing. Investors are pulling out. Kaya very low yung economy. In corruption, wala pang nahuhulong. It's been 3 months already. So very low din yung corruption. So posibleng 1 talaga.
Here's one. Pangalawang kong katanungan, Mr. Congressman. Yung pong status ngayon ni former House Speaker Romualdez, at the same time yung pong former Congressman Zaldi Kong, parang na-divert into another issue na po, an event sa investigation sa Davao City and somewhere Cebu. But now, how do yung pong analysis mo? Yung pong situation na dalawang mga controversial personalities, yung pong si Romualdez at Zaldi Kong, do you have now, do you have our yung pong the most awaited part po sa investigation? Sa tingin mo, may kahihiratan po ang investigation na yun? Talking of these two personalities.
For Romualdez and Zaldico, well, si Zaldico hindi na talaga makikita yun. He's already out of the country, he's already escaped, he's stolen billions of pesos, and now he's gone. Yung kay Martin Romualdez naman, wala siya sa Kongreso. Hindi ko siya nakita sa Kongreso this week. And there are reports that he already has fled the country kasi posibleng in case na mag-resign si Marcos by next week. So baka natakot na din siya. He has not made any public statements and he was invited to the Ruben Committee hearing tomorrow, but he is not going to show up.
Okay, maraming po salamat, Congressman.
Thank you, Jay. Any more question from that side? May tanong pa ba tayo? For Congressman Barsaga? Yes, Sultan.
Good evening, Mr.
Good evening.
Narinig ko kanina parang mayroong time frame starting from 1678. At saka ito, pag walang mangyari, kasi ang basehan natin dito ay wala man kahit isa na bigyan ng corresponding punishment as far as corruption is concerned. Ano kaya? After 16, mayroon ba talaga dito mabigat na pupuntahan natin? After 16, wala man kahit isa na bigyan ng punishment. Mayroon ba itong talagang mabigat na puntahan natin after 18?
Pag after 16, wala pang naparusahan. Pag after the rallies, kung nakita na ng buong Pilipinas, nakita na ng international community na million na yung nag-rally doon at wala pa rin nakulong, wala pang naparusahan sa pagnanakaw, then we will have no choice but to withdraw our support for the whole government, the whole PNP, the whole AFP. Lahat na sila magkasabot dyan, wala na tayong tiwala sa gobyerno kung sakaling makikita nila yun at makikita ng buong mundo yun na wala silang ginawa kahit million na ang lumaban sa korupsyon. So at that point, we would have no choice but to just, as Filipino people, just withdraw all of our support to all government institutions. There's really no hope anymore if wala pa rin nagbago after the 16, 17, 18.
Okay, may tanong pa ba tayo dyan? Yes, sir.
I am from the province of Tali-Tali, a retired police officer. And of course, a martial law baby. With Marcos Sr., the martial law, at kami doon sa Tali-Tali, naramdaman namin kung gaano kahirap yung martial law. Now, alam naman natin lahat, kaya tayo nandito, is to fight against corruption. My question is, how about if Marcos Jr. do the same? Gaano kaya mahirap?
What if Marcos will also declare martial law? That's the question, Congressman.
Marcos declares martial law, well, firstly, that will collapse our tourism and our economy. That will collapse our tourism industry. It will have severe diplomatic problems and posibleng na talaga magkakagulo sa Pilipinas. There would be private militaries, there would be armed rebellion, it will basically be a civil war. Kasi nakita na natin kung ano nangyari ng martial law at hindi naman natin papayagan na mag-martial law din si Marcos. So by that time, I think civil militant groups will start to emerge, and that will be truly what would cause our country to collapse.
May tanong po ba? Any more question? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Congressman, and welcome to Paginian. This is just like taga Mindanao kami lahat. Ang nalalaman lang namin is sa media ng social media o sa TV, sa newspaper, whatever. But ikaw, since you are here and we are really, I mean, for me, it's nice to have you here. Galing kang Manila, you're near talaga sa capital. I guess you know everything there sa Senate, sa Congress, di ba? So, at least alam mo yung what is really going on inside. Kami hanggang newspaper lang kami, hanggang TV lang kami. But what we want to know is this. Yung mga investigation ba dyan na ginagawa, do you think something will happen to that? I mean, ang napapansin ko on my, on my observation, nagpapasana lang sila niloloko na tayo lahat Pero I think, sila lang gumagawa na lang, just makalusot lang sila lahat. Pero ang gusto naman malaman sana naman is, may nangyayari ba? Yung magtunog, taga Mindanao kami, ano yung magtunog also? Kung what's going on in Manila, may maganda bang kakalabasan na may mga investigation na yan. You know, kasi kami dito, until now, we're waiting kung sino makukulong. Wala pa rin. I mean, everybody is like, what's going on? Si Marcos is, walang alam yung Marcos na yan Yung si BBM, wala. Kaya nga nagtataka. We're asking you on your part, being there in Manila, near sa Congress, siguro may alam ka naman siguro, parang you will feel good also na dapat may mangyari na positive. Thank you.
Well, the problema dito is the ICI is under Marcos and the Senate Blue Ribbon is also under Marcos. So kung sakaling may makukulong man, it would be the supporters of former President Duterte. Kasi yun talaga yung naging minority bloc ng Senado at yun din yung mga pinapakulong ni Marcos. As we all know, former President Duterte was arrested by the ICC under Marcos's orders. Tapos si Senator Bato naman may magkakaroon din ng kaso sa ICC. Pinapakulong na din siya ni Marcos. Madami na ang mga senators na gustong ipakulong ni Marcos. And there's really no hope as long as Marcos is president. There's really no future for our country as long as Marcos is president. Isa-isa na tayong ipapakulong ni Marcos kung sakaling wala, kung sakaling manatili siya bilang Pangulo natin. Because it will not just stop at former President Duterte. Papakulong din niya si Sara Duterte, sila Senator Villanueva, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Bato de la Rosa, Senator Bongo. He will imprison everyone who speaks out against him. At yun din yung ginawa ng tatay niya. We are seeing a repeat of history. And that is why we are rallying and protesting against it. Because we do not want history to repeat. We already seen what happens when you give too much power to a Marcos. At nakita na natin kung ano yung mga ginagawa niya sa mga kalaban niya o sa mga hindi sumasang-ayon sa mga corruption niya at sa pagnanakaw niya.
So, Congressman, so like, we will just wait for the result kung ano talaga mangyayari, or what do you think? Kasi ikaw, I mean, we idolize you and you know, you really fight for against Marcos. And anything that you want us to do here is we want to go with you. We want to support you. If you want mag-rally na naman tayo, whatever, no? Just to get rid of that person na Malacanang. Kasi wala na nangyayari sa ano natin. Kawawa na ang Pilipinas. Kawawa na ang Pilipinas. Nakakahiya na all over the world. Nakakahiya na tayo. Mga Pilipinos, I don't know. Ako mismo, I don't want to be called Filipino for now. I don't want to be called Filipino for now. Kasi nakakaya under the presidency of Marcos. No way. So, on your part, I hope, ano mo kami, enlighten mo kami para we will feel good also. Can we do something about it? Kasi you have all the ideas eh. Kaya, nandiyan na, minomonitor ka namin sa banan mo against Marcos. We're just waiting movements. If you want movements, we can support them, I guess.
Ultimately, we will have to see kung ano muna yung mangyayari by November 16 to 18 kung sakaling magbabago na ang administration ni Marcos or kung sakaling mag-resign siya. But until then, it's only 1 week. We have to first wait and see on what will happen. But I trust that everyone here already has an idea of what might happen by that time.
Okay.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Yes, sir?
Hello po, magandang gabi. Ako ni Hambog ng GMA7 at Pride Channel dito sa Pagadian. Magandang Mindanao din po. Now, nakakahiya dahil taga Mindanao kami, pero taga Luzon pa ang may malakas na loob na mag-ingay kontra sa administrasyon ng Marcos. Sa ngayon, ano kaya nakikita mo, dahilan, rason, ba't ikaw na po ang may malakas na loob na mag-ingay? Eh, dami naman kongresista dito sa Mindanao. May nagpaparamdam na rin ba na sabay-sabay na kayo?
Well, yung majority kasi sa Congress, support sa corruption doon. Hindi lang naman isa yung magnanakaw ng pera doon. Mas safe sila kung lahat sila magnanakaw. And that is the problem. Hindi naman nila pwedeng labanan yung corruption kung sila mismo ay corrupt. So there's a possibility na kung sakaling tahimik sila, very likely na nagnakaw din sila.
Okay. So, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So, good afternoon. We are with you that you have, expectations from this place, and you're trying to weigh in. Kung ready ba kami with you, right? And I'm telling you that we're ready. We are ready. And kasi Filipinos look forward for a leader, and we cannot find one that will stand like you.
Thank you.
So, we look forward na ngayon nandito ka. I guess you have a group of brainy people that is planning. Sad to note, we are a fragmented place. Diba? Island. Kung one mainland lang, doon na kami sa 16. But sad to note, we have to travel by air or by sea, no? So, hindi pwede. But, on your bucket, what do you expect from the region here with your activity on the 16th. We want clear. Kasi whenever we go, we discuss these things. Ano na bang gagawin natin? Can we do something na ginawa nila sa Manila? We can't just sit here and watch you on the 16th. There must be something to be done. And I know you have that in plan. Please share, and you are very welcome to tell that to us para kami naman is guided with one goal na meron tayong one goal na dapat this administration will end. Right?
That's the biggest problem here, lalo sa Visayas and Mindanao. It's that you trusted your government to put the House of Representatives, the Supreme Court, the Senate, and Malacanang all in Luzon for them to make decisions that will affect the lives of the people in Mindanao and in Visayas. And then they betrayed you by stealing all of the money and stealing your natural resources, selling them to foreigners. It's a betrayal of trust, and that's the same type of betrayal of trust that President Marcos did to former President Duterte when he had him in prison. President Marcos imprisoned the man who allowed him back into Malacanang, who allowed him to become president, and who gave him an opportunity to redeem his family's image. As for 16 to 18, there really is no concrete future that I could give. There are multiple plans, there are multiple groups, but ultimately, we all have different visions of what justice is. But as for me, I will say that isa lang talaga ang pinaka-plano ko, and there's only one solution I see to this being resolved, and that is through Marcos's resignation. We want Marcos to resign so that we may create a better country for our children and our future.
May tanong pa ba? Any more question from that side? Dapat? Wala na? Ha? Napay question. Yes.
Mayong hapon sa tanan, kami mga MNLF, noon pa man ay ginagawa namin ang dapat namin gawin. So ang narinig ko, 16, 17, 18, if hindi mag-resign si Marcos, anong gagawin natin? Anong gagawin natin?
Kung sakaling hindi mag-resign si Marcos na 16, 17, 18, depende yun kung may babaguhin siya sa gobyerno, kung ipapakulong niya si Martin Romualdez at yung mga congressman na nagnakaw o yung mga naging issue doon. Depende kasi yan eh. Resignation is not ultimately the only solution to this. May posibleng magbago pa si Marcos, pero hindi natin aasahan yan. May mga tao niniwala posibleng magbago pa si Marcos, pero hindi din namin sila pinapaniwalaan. Ultimately, if Marcos does not resign, hindi mas babagsak pa ang ekonomiya, mas magkakagulo pa sa ating bansa. And as for my recommendation, everyone would be free to do whatever you believe is right. Kung ano yung sa tingin nyo yung tama para sa ating bansa, whatever that may be, I am recommending that you are free to do whatever that is. I'm not suggesting that you do anything or that you do nothing. Pero pag nawala na talaga ang tiwala ng tao sa Pangulo, sa gobyerno, sa AFP, sa PNP, sa DOJ,